What do I think of OnlyFans creators doing that as a job? Well, it's America, right? Home of the free. Do whatever you want.
I kind of view like the idea of pornography at all as kind of like a harmful sort of business.
So with OnlyFans, I feel like it's a great way for models to express themselves and also earn some money on the side.
OnlyFans? I don't know.
If I'm gonna be honest, I've never really thought about it that much, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's a personal choice. If that's what's paying your bills, then that's what's paying your bills. Do what you gotta do.
I think it's a really diverse community. Obviously, there's, just a wide range of topics on it.
And I think as long as it's consensual and the model's choice, it's an amazing way to make money, and I think it's great.
I think there are long-term repercussions that people haven't thought about yet.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's like just great for them,
My thoughts on OnlyFans is honestly, I think it's okay. There's multiple uses for OnlyFans. I mean, I've seen multiple boxers, UFC fighters use it.
I think OnlyFans is really good for people who are comfortable making that kind of content.
I think that perpetuating like OnlyFans and the kind of people who do it, like they're not directly harming anybody, but all of it is harmful as a whole.
I think that they're just trying to do what they need to do to make money, and if that's their choice, then that's great for them.
I think what most of it's used for, I think it's kind of gross.
As long as it's like not hurting anybody, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and to whatever they want to create or whatever they want to show.
It's tough because I'm personally against it, but I also made a vow as a human to not judge you and your personal choices.
And it perpetuates the wrong kind of culture, and it's not good for anybody.
As long as they do that and they're true to themselves, it's kind of a cool, unique tool that people can have as long as they use it safely.
Mine's gonna be controversial, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of don't like OnlyFans because it's kind of like people. It's not good for the mind to watch women in that sort of way, and that's just my opinion because,
Sex has been in the media for decades, whether you acknowledge it or not. One of the first sex scenes in a movie was in the movie The Kiss in 1896. One of the first sexual advertisements by the Pearl Tobacco brand was advertised in 1871. Copies of Playboy magazines were sold as early as 1953. Sex icons such as Marilyn Monroe were featured in films where her body and bust were accentuated. In the 1970s, different pornographic movies were made and sold during what some would call the pornographic golden age. Music and music videos had sexual language and visuals in them, and when the internet came around, online sex and pornography sites like Pornhub were released as early as 2007. Once the internet became more available to the public, so did these online sexual content platforms. In recent years, the platform, OnlyFans, where anyone over the age of 18 can register an account and produce their own content for wages, has become popular, but also controversial. OnlyFans has opened the door for people to start their own content. Even well-known celebrities like Bella Thorne, Drea D'Amadio, and online gamer Markiplier have launched their own profiles. While OnlyFans does offer financial benefits, society and people have their concerns and debates about if OnlyFans is degrading to people, if it makes people a sexual object, or if it is wrong morally. Most of the public knows about online sex work and sex work in general, but they do not know the perspectives of these creators or entertainers. And some people disagree with the subject, and some are just fans of what these creators do. In 2021, data shows that there were 187.9 million users on the OnlyFans site, 2.1 million of those users being creators.
My name's Jane Batchelor, and I'm a professional entertainer.
Tiara Sprouse, and I am a college student and OnlyFans creator.
My name is Patience Lucille, and I'm an OnlyFans creator.
We had the opportunity to speak with 3 of these creators and listen to their story and their perspectives of online sex work and how they navigate through the platform, OnlyFans.
I face a lot of criticism, but I feel like this is gonna sound so conceited. I feel like it's all a lie.
Jaden Batchelor is a college student, professional entertainer, exotic dancer, and OnlyFans creator. She discusses the ups and downs of sex work that is on and offline.
Overall, it started out pretty rocky. I started with my ex-boyfriend, so it was like easy, and it was like something we talked about and like diddled with the idea. So when they subscribe to me, it's $15 a month, and then they get access to everything I've ever posted. So in total, I have like 120 videos and photos. So there's a large variety. Like there's normal sex, there's anal, there's head, me giving and receiving. There's me dancing, lingerie pictures, nudes, like the whole shebang. I was 19 when I started posting, but I think I sold nudes for the first time when I was 18. So it like diddled with it just like a little bit. It was someone who had asked frequently if I did, and I just got tired of saying no. Like, I know it's like not common for everyone, but I get asked if I sell weekly, like almost daily. And after so many years of being like, no, I was just like, why am I denying free money? All I have to do is show you my titties and you're giving me money? Okay, like what? Like, I think I was 12 years old the first time somebody asked me if I sold nudes. Like, I've been very hypersexualized my entire life. I knew I was pretty from a young age. I always got a lot of compliments, and I always had people like make sexual remarks at me when I was literally a child. I think being sexualized from so young made me want to, like, instead of cover up, it made me just like want to show myself more and be like, yeah, I'm hot because I think I'm hot, not because you said so. Like, when I was 17, I was raped, and when that happens, most of the time, the common experience is that people they become like afraid and they don't like sex. I had an opposite reaction, and it made me a little hypersexual. And so I started like throwing myself into guys because I was like, this thing was taken from me and I needed that control back, and that was how I felt like I could do that. But now it's more, instead of like chasing for control, I just feel like I have it. So it was like turning that from something that felt negative and using it to my advantage. So when people are like, oh, you're just a stripper, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, I'm a stripper. People like expect me to be stupid, and are like shocked when I can hold an intellectual conversation and I tell them that I'm a junior in college. Like, half the girls at my club have degrees. Like, they're smart, intelligent women, they're mothers. Like, you know, like, they're still just people. And I think I have such an issue with like the professional world and its negativity on sexiness. Because for whatever reason, if you show your midriff, if you have too much cleavage, like in a corporate world, it makes you a whore. Okay, so I'm just gonna choose to be one. And when one time I had a guy who was like asking to sleep with me, and I was saying no because I'm not gonna sleep around with, especially with a random person, you know? And he turned around and started calling me a slut and a whore and was like, your pussy's ugly anyway. And I'm like, really? Because I've got how many people paying to see it? So it's like weirdly validating, and it makes me very confident because like someone could look me in the face and be like, you're batshit ugly. And I'm like, cool, I don't believe you. I very much feel empowered. It's like taking control of it is like a relief almost, and it makes it a lot easier for me like to say no when I don't want to do something because I feel in control, you know? Creating has definitely shaped me to be more confident in who I am. Like there was a time when if someone was negative to me, I'd probably go cry. Now it's like how I said earlier, I'm like, I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. I don't care enough to either.
Jaden is one of the creators on the platform who found control and confidence through OnlyFans. Tiara, A fellow creator shares some of the same experiences as Jaden and speaks about her journey with the platform.
I think it was probably about 2018. I was still a student. I was going to Pitt State, and I worked at Walmart, but my car actually caught on fire, and I needed some money, and it was suggested to me that I think this was before OnlyFans was even big, so everyone was doing the Snapchat premiums. So I started doing that, and I made like $500 the first day, and I was like, I am getting myself a car. So that's kind of what got me started. So when I first started, I was doing the private Snapchat, and so they would pay to be my friend, and they would pay like a monthly subscription. And when I was doing that, I was doing just like softcore, just like lingerie photos, things like that. When I started doing OnlyFans like full time, I was doing more hardcore like couple like porn and like self porn kind of a deal. Some of the weird things that I like got requested, some guy wanted a picture of my armpit, and then when I sent it to him, he was disappointed that it wasn't hairy. Yeah, and then I really struck gold, and I found a guy who was into feet. So he was sending me a lot of money for a while, just for feet pics. He would pay for me to get my feet like done so that he could pick the color, my toenails, things like that. And then on the more dark side, I had a guy request a video of, he wanted it to look like I was being raped. I declined that, and he was blocked, because that, again, like if you're acting within your morals, then I don't think that anyone could ever shame you, but I just thought that was wrong. So I think that there's probably a line, and everyone's line is probably different, but I think as a society, we are against like things that are like people aren't consenting to, or like anything with children or animals. And OnlyFans actually has that rule. You can't pretend to be asleep, you cannot be asleep, you cannot have animals, things like that. So yeah, that's just where I drew the line. If something else was asked and I didn't feel comfortable, I would also draw the line there. When I first started, it made me feel like wanted, and I was like, I was never, I just never knew that so many people like found me attractive. And it also, it definitely like changed my perspective of men. Whereas before I feel like I was maybe chasing men, and now I realize like, wow, women are to be chased. Like everyone wants you. So I'm no longer doing it regularly. I did it over the summer, and then I've kind of been on a break. I've kind of been off and on since 2018. Whenever I got burnt out, it was not the people at all. It was just that I wanted a break from playing that part. I think that if you continue to do it like past that burnout, or like you start feeling icky about it but you keep doing it, that's when people's judgment will get to you, because you are also thinking that way. I've talked to a few people who are immediately like judgmental. They think it's wrong, they think it's like dehumanizing. The first thing I like to ask them is, have you ever sent a nude? And most of the times they're going to say yes. So then it becomes, okay, so what is the issue with the money? Because if you can do it for free and you can still be empowered and you can still have self-respect, why can't I do it and make money off of it? And they don't usually have an answer for that.
While OnlyFans offers financial benefits, some content creators have their own boundaries and guidelines when it comes to their content. Some creators have other background for making content on the platform. Patience Lucille speaks about finding accommodation through OnlyFans, along with other benefits they have gained through the platform.
The light bulb to like jump into this definitely went off whenever I was doing this microdosing session with mushrooms, and just realized that I could do so much better if I take reality, I guess, into my own hands and work for myself. I hated the job that I was at, and I was struggling with like finding disability accepting work, and I talked to my mom and my stepdad about it, and I was like, hey, like this is a really big transition, big jump that I want to do in my life, and like, is it okay with you guys if I try and do it? And they were super supportive. So I have lupus, also have autism and ADHD. And lupus is an autoimmune disease, and my biggest symptoms from it that run into my day-to-day life are I have kidney issues and I get really bad joint pain, really bad muscle pain. My muscles don't really like develop how they're supposed to, and I have a low white blood cell count. And like being able to do OnlyFans, for one, most of the work is me sitting down and editing or me filming on my back. And it's a lot more comfortable. I can make my own schedule. If I get sick, it's not the end of the world. I'm not getting fired for, you know, going down, because whenever I do get sick, it can get really bad because I have to take immunosuppressants. So I don't have much of an immune system to fight off a cold or like the flu or something. It kind of does impact some things being queer. I feel like gay sex is more different. There's a lot more going on there and a lot more stuff that could be done whenever you're queer. And being non-binary definitely has its influences on my work. So I'm not the first person in my family or in my bloodline to be doing sex work, and it is kind of interesting to like look back on it and kind of see how sex work has evolved over generations. My mother never did anything, but my grandma and her sister were both strippers in Florida, probably around like the 70s or something, which seems like so much fun. So I'm like very spiritual. I'm all about human connection, community, friendships, relationships. Sex is a really spiritual thing. And I really enjoy that in the line of sex work, I'm able to talk with a lot of my customers, especially ones that order custom stuff, about like their kinks and traumas, because most people have a kink because of some kind of trauma, and give them a space, I guess, to talk about those things and work through those things. I know who I am and what I want to be doing and how I want to expend my energy a lot better than I did doing any other job.